Hi friends, it's Latte and welcome to today's video. I hope life has been treating you kindly and I'm really excited to have you guys here today because we are going to be decorating Diana's yard. So if you don't know who Diana is, she's the most adorable, cutest little deer. She's a snooty villager and she's one of my favorite snooties. So I'm excited to be decorating her yard today. And of course, I'm so excited to have you guys here with me. So let's go ahead and I'll show you where we're going to be putting our house. So if you remember from my last video, if you haven't watched it, I'll put it up on the screen. But we made an enchanted forest with a fairy circle inside of it, and I figured it would be perfect to make a little gatekeeper for the forest, and I thought the perfect villager for that would be Diana because she's white with hints of purple and she looks really whimsical and magical, so I figured she'd be the perfect person for it. So as you can see, I've already built up the area off camera. I was playing around trying to figure out what I wanted to do with this area. So it's in between the magical forest and also where my house is going to be. I thought it was the perfect little space to make Diana's house and her yard. So without all that being said, let's move on to the speed build. Of course, the first thing I'm doing is putting down her house plot. I already marked it out with some in-game pathing. The villager houses are 4x4. So if you ever wanted to plan out where you wanted your residents to go, that's a helpful tip. Normally, their houses also fit pretty close up against the cliffs as well, and I knew I wanted Diana's house to be more up against the cliff than right in the middle. So I also wanted to give her a type of garden. At the beginning, when I was planning out her house, I was going to give her a pumpkin patch since I'm in the southern hemisphere, so my game is currently in autumn. And then I remember that I had some purple roses, so I scrapped the pumpkin patch and I'm going to be giving her a rose garden instead. And I figured I would change it up a little bit and make this sort of checkered pattern with the dirt. And then behind her house, I wanted it to look like it was blocking off a pathway that was going into the forest. So I was debating whether to use it or not, but I ended up going with the spooky arch. And I was going to originally leave it in the, I think it's the orange colorway, I'm not too sure. But I remembered that there was a green version and I absolutely love the green version. So I went ahead and customized it and added that to the forest instead. I like that it's a more natural colorway and it also blends in with the other trees behind it, so it is not too obvious. You can only see it if you really walk past and be like, oh hey, what's that? I didn't want it to stand out too much. I also put it backwards so that way the smaller pumpkin would be facing forward instead of the more scary looking pumpkin. I had a general idea of how I wanted the garden to look like. I knew that I didn't want to make it completely full of roses. I wanted to drop some items in between the roses. So when I was doing it, I dropped a sapling and I really like the way that it looked. It looks like she hasn't gone around to planting that yet, so I thought it looked really cute. And then I added in 3 roses. I didn't want it to look completely full and overtaken with roses because there are some roses near the entrance of this little walkway, so I didn't want to make it too heavy with that. And to prevent anything from spawning in the dirt patches, I put some custom designs on top. I also had a crescent moon chair that I customized to purple, and I thought it would have shown up when I went down, but unfortunately it doesn't. It still makes it look cute though. I knew that I wanted to put the clothesline right next to her house, but I was trying to figure out how to make it look a little bit more interesting. And then I decided to make a pathway that looks like it's been worn away, and it's sort of inaccessible. It doesn't lead to anywhere anymore, but I thought it would be a cute little feature to add, as if like there used to be a pathway that would lead into the forest, but it's been blocked off. For some reason on this island, my most favorite thing to do is just covering every single space on the ground with the design code. I know it looks a little bit full sometimes. I'm thinking of maybe going back and erasing some stuff just to make it look a little bit more open, but I might be doing that near the end of when I start to finish my island, because in the meantime I don't want anything spawning accidentally where I can't get it. Besides that though, isn't it cute that Sahara is basically just watching over me as I'm building and decorating this area? She's honestly so cute. I was heavily contemplating on whether to do the pathways now or to wait a little bit and then do them. In the end, I decided to just go ahead and start the pathways and just get a basic outline going, so that way I had an idea of how I wanted it all to flow. I wanted the pathway to look a little bit more worn down and broken instead of it looking a lot more full. So I was experimenting with different pieces of the path and trying to make it all flow together. Honestly, it was just a lot of trial and error. Sometimes I'm so bad with the pathway and I don't know how I wanted to go. But yeah. And also not having Diana's house physically there so I could see where the doorway is made it a lot harder as well. I then went ahead and time traveled a day forward, and I decided to leave it in because when I time traveled forward it was raining on the day, and honestly it is such a mood. I absolutely loved it and I wanted to share it with you guys because I thought it was absolutely a mood. Anyways, I then time traveled another day forward and now I'm just going in and fixing up the garden and adding in the final details. Since Diana's rose garden is in a bit of a low visibility area and there's a cliff in front of it and it's a little bit blocked off, I didn't want to put in a tall fence even though I really wanted to use one. So I ended up going in with some log stakes instead. And then I decided to also play around with the setting of how the garden looks. So I went ahead and just sort of dug stuff up and experimented. I ended up changing it a little bit though, but most of it still stayed the same. Even though it looks like I'm done with the garden, I'm actually not. I'm just taking a little break from it because I will be back at it again near the end. Right now, I decided to move on and decorate a little chair and table setting for her. I wanted to use the natural garden chair and table. Is that what it's called? I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember anymore. But originally the configuration I wanted to put it in would have blocked off her little resident sign where you can see who's living at the house, so I didn't want that blocked off, so I changed the configuration of it. I also put down a lost book that I found near my house. I thought it looked cute and I often find her reading in the flower patches and stuff, so I thought it'd be a cute little detail to add. Also, since I could see where her house was now, I went ahead and finished up the pathway on the ground. I was originally planning to leave that rose there, but I decided that it looked really heavy on the left side of the yard, so I moved it to the right, and then I also decided to move the mush lamp to the right side too, and I thought it looked really cute like that. I'm also putting down a couple more design codes and filling up the area near the cliff. Towards the end of this, I was really struggling with which design codes to put where and how I wanted to put them down, because I knew that I wanted to drop some items on the ground leading up to her house, like some mushrooms and star fragments, so I was having some trouble figuring that out. I also obviously wanted to put down some star fragments to help it tie into the enchanted forest area, so I decided to use the Sagittarius star fragments because they're purple and it matches in with her theme as well. Where I just put down that leaf design code is where I wanted to put a flower down, because in the other parts of my island I have flowers growing in between my pathway, but I didn't like how cluttered it looked with adding another flower, so I went ahead and added a mushroom, and I thought it really fitted well with the area too. I really wanted to put a variety of dropped items down, but I was struggling to find places where it would fit and not look too out of place, so I just left it with the mushroom and the star fragments. And now I'm finally going in to finish up the garden. I just added in another log stake and I moved the sapling to the middle tile, and that's about it really. So here is the final walkthrough of Diana's yard and her little area that I made for her. I absolutely love it, and I love the way that it looks and the vibe that it gives for her and her yard. Absolutely love it. Can you tell that I'm obsessed with this? I absolutely adore it. So yeah, I managed to grab some pretty nice footage of this area too, so I hope you guys enjoyed the next couple of clips. Thank you for joining me as I decorated Diana's yard today, and if you liked this video I would really appreciate it if you liked it. It would help me out a lot. And if you enjoy videos like this, like decorating Diana's yard and villager hunts and stuff like that, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos. Other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you all next time. Bye!